Hello, happy holidays. Welcome to Bill Has Opinions, the festive can't miss bullshit. I'm Laura Lavoie and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Ho, ho, ho.
It's the holiday season, folks. That's what I have to say about that.
That's all you got to say about
That's
that?
all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
But yeah, before we launch into what we're doing for the holiday season, how are you? What have you been up? We have been off for 2 weeks since before Thanksgiving. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was decent, yeah. You know, had some food. Had some days off. Didn't get anything done because we had the weather. We had the much needed rain we've been waiting on, but it was an inopportune time.
Right.
So got squat done. I can't remember if I even went on a walk that weekend. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I don't know. But I didn't get on a walk this past weekend, which was sad. Because it rained all.
It was really rainy and gross.
But I don't know. Like I said, I guess we need it. Maybe we're no longer under a burn ban. Thankfully,
we are not.
You're not. Yeah. I don't know.
If that's true. I don't know if you.
Because you guys got more rain than we got.
True. True. Yeah.
And unfortunately, the river flows south to north. So any rain that you get doesn't help where I'm at.
Down to you. Right. Yeah, because the burn ban, because we had some wildfires in the area. So the burn ban was any recreational fire. But once some of those were better contained, they said you could have controlled fires. So it had to be in a fire. But you couldn't just burn brush. Right. You had to have a fire pit or a chimney or whatever.
That's fair because it was a mess. And I mean, down in Hendersonville, there were acres in it. I think they had a 400-acre fire down there.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I mean, there were a few days up here where it was hazy and it smelled like campfire. And it started one night and I'm like, oh, somebody's not adhering to the burn ban. I thought somebody in our neighborhood was burning a fire. And then I was like, oh, no, shit, there
were people in my neighborhood who had not. Who were not I drove home. I think actually driving home from Thanksgiving, I saw somebody with a huge blazing, bonfire in their backyard, and I was like, "Are you kidding me, man? Come on! We got enough problems around here."
Exactly. Don't start a new one.
Yeah,
for sure. But we had a nice Thanksgiving. We did it with the neighbors.
Oh, that's
so times. It was good fun. We had we hosted the parade and the football game here and made brunch, and then right after the game we had dinner at our other neighbor's house. And it was really nice. Everybody brought dishes, they did the turkey, but everybody brought sides.
Gotcha.
And then I took a nap. And then after the nap, we went back to the other neighbor's house on the other side of us and had dessert. And we watched Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's the way to do it. That's to break it. You need a break between the regular food and the dessert. Oh my God. Oh, my stepdaughter made this. It was a cider bundt cake, but it kind of was a cake fail, but kind of not. It turned out it was a happy accident. It depends on what you're into. Okay?
Sure.
I think she felt sad about it, but I loved it because it actually tasted like bread it was like an apple bread pudding. Is what it ended up with this gooey consistency. That was to me. I was just like, I would eat this whole thing.
But she didn't want it to be like that.
It was supposed to be a cake that tasted like apple cider. It wound up, like I said, being this gooey thing. It was more of like a bread pudding, but I was perfectly that's okay with me. I like bread pudding. This is delicious. I would and I wished I had grabbed more of it when we were leaving.
Right.
Because I could have ate more of it than I did, sadly. But
yeah, that was the thing about
I didn't eat
it. Breaking up Thanksgiving that way is that we didn't really have a ton of leftovers. We had our leftovers. What we should have done is actually spent some time breaking up, every family got a portion of the turkey and every family got, some of the sides. We really should, we should have brought Tupperware over for dinner and then split it up right when we were done and everybody got some. In the end, we had an assload of mashed potatoes. We made a cheesy mashed potato casserole.
Oh.
But we didn't have any leftover turkey or anything. So
see, that's the only thing I would not want to be stuck with is I'm going to dump out mashed potatoes because we have mashed potatoes still in the fridge too. Because I I prefer stuffing to mashed potatoes. That's just me.
The stuffing I'll get it, but I will tell you. Here's the trick. Here's what I learned.
Oh yeah.
They were cheesy mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
But
that's better than regular mashed potatoes.
True, but we made them into potato pancakes. So all we did was
that's a thing to do.
We took the leftovers and we mixed an egg and some flour, and mixed it up, and then smooshed them, into pancakes, and then fried them up in a little oil, and they were freaking delicious.
No, yeah, and I've heard of this where people take leftover dressing and they put it in the waffle press.
Mm-hmm.
I never have any leftover dressing to do that with.
Yeah, we didn't have any.
It sounds great, but I eat the shit out. Like that's the thing I double back for is another plate of dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year, I just go back and eat my damn weight and dressing. I don't know. I love that shit.
We had 2 dressings because Kara, one of our neighbors, made cornbread dressing, and I just made stovetop. Because at first I didn't think we would have any dressing. Right. And I'm like, I'm just going to make a thing of stovetop because it takes like a minute. So I literally made it in the minute before we walked next door to eat it.
Yeah.
But everything was absolutely delicious, and I was very, very pleased. It worked out very nicely. But yeah, I didn't eat for like 3 days after Thanksgiving because I was just a little blah. And the Lions didn't win their football game on Thanksgiving Day, but we since came back and won yesterday's game. So
does the Thanksgiving Day game really count? Is it just No,
it counts, especially since it was a divisional game. So, it matters for we're still right now, we're still at the top of the division, which is good because the other teams really suck. And we did win this week. So we have a really good record. We have a really, really good record.
The best you've had since I've known you.
The best we've had since 1991, I believe. 1962. That's right. 91, we went to one.
That was well before I knew you.
Yes, that was well before I knew me. It was in 1962. Even my sister wasn't born yet.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, thank you, Jay. 1962, indeed. Well, we did wait because I just watched we'll get into the actual show in a second. We just watched the Barry Sanders documentary, which was so awesome. Like, because he was a once-in-a-lifetime player. Like, he was an amazing player. And, like, the Lions sucked really bad when he was playing for them, but they just had to give him the ball and he would get them a touchdown. They still lost most of the games.
Because one guy can't win.
You can't just have Barry Sanders. And they did go to the playoffs 1 year with him and didn't make it after the first playoff game. But, and of course, he thought he'd have another shot.
Sure.
But then they were just historically terrible again. But anyway, it was a really sweet documentary, and he's such a great guy. He did, his style of play was really humble and really cool, even though he was literally the greatest running back of all time. Although according to his father, he was the 3rd greatest running back of all time.
His father says this?
His father said that. His father has long since passed away, but his father used to say, because Barry didn't like to do press conferences. He didn't like to be in the spotlight at all. Okay. So he let his dad do them all.
Right.
His dad loved being in the spotlight. But he was a big fan of Jim Brown. So he always said Jim Brown was the number 1 running back.
Okay.
So even while Barry broke records and stuff, he's like, yeah. And then he would say he was the 2nd best running back, even though he never played professional football.
He's like, in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have kicked this guy's ass.
Literally the case. But anyway, it was really sweet. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, I highly, highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime. Even if you're not a Detroit Lions fan and you just feel good stories, it's worth watching. Okay. Anyway, what are we drinking? We haven't even gotten to that yet.
Oh, man.
I'm almost done.
I'm almost done. We're drinking Ninja Bread Man from Asheville Brewing Company.
Yes.
Asheville Brewing Company, who I'm repping.
Yeah, tonight. I see that. It's good.
It's good.
Gingerbready.
It's not as gingery as you pointed out as it has been.
Yeah, it feels more bready.
More bready. It's still sweet.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a spiced porter sort of, or stout, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's their ninja. Yeah, it's their ninja porter with gingerbread spices. This one seems a little more subdued than it has been in years previous. Sometimes they're really almost too much. And to be honest, I like this.
No, it's drinkable.
Better,
yeah.
But when I smelled it, like it used to be, you would smell it, it would just be like a spice bomb.
Oh yeah.
And I smelled it, and it smells more bready. And you said, "Are you sure it doesn't smell like man?" Because it's gingerbread man. Anyway,
so she didn't taste any man.
I did not taste any man in it. But It's delicious. But then after that, we each have a fireside chat from 21st Amendment.
Yeah.
A favorite. And then the perennial Asheville favorite, the Cold Mountain.
Yeah. I haven't. This is the first one I'm breaking it. I bought the 6-pack like 3 weeks ago.
Ooh.
Just to stick aside because I figured by the time I wanted one, there'd be like summer beers in the damn beer section or whatever. You know?
Right, exactly.
So,
exactly. I have had a couple of Cold Mountains this year. I like this year's. Here's the thing about Cold Mountain, folks. It's a huge thing this year and or huge thing every year. And it's Highland Brewing. And they, like the brewery, like the brewers compete privately within Highland to make the each year's Cold Mountain, right?
Oh, so they have like a contest inside the brewery
Yes.
where they all
everybody
pitch a thing.
Yes, and it has to have the same base.
Right, but then it'll have like a different like note that
slight flavor profile.
Got you, and then so then they vote amongst themselves, I guess, and pick the one that they're going to
which one they like best, and that's the one they do.
Okay.
And some years it's been like a vanilla bomb, and some years it's been really hazelnutty, and some years it's been really butterscotchy. And I have lost the ability to taste the difference between Cold Mountains. Like by the time it comes out every year, I'm like, yep, that's a Cold Mountain.
I only remember that 2016 was a really good year. That was the year there was like a perfect balance of vanilla and hazelnut or something. And nutmeg or something like that. And it had the most Christmassy taste I've ever had. And I remember that, but I can't tell you like if I had it again, like if they matched it,
right?
If they match, I'm the same way with you. If they matched it today, like if this one was the same, I probably wouldn't notice.
Well, tell me what you think.
I'm chasing this gingerbread man with it, so it's gonna, my palate's already. Actually, we should have had some water.
We should have, but we don't.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is. But I like it. I just can't tell the difference anymore. So,
no, it's good.
It's good. It's very tasty.
I'm tasting like hazelnut and maybe some plum or something.
Plum. That's actually a really good pick. And that's what the most I got out of this year's was maybe something a little more fruity. Like
it's a little fruitier than normal.
Currant.
Yeah, something like that. Some kind of sweet fruit.
Sugar plum.
Yeah, I don't know.
Raisins, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, does it even say?
It says vanilla, hazelnut, dark fruit, and cinnamon, but it always says that.
Well, true, but they may have upped the dark fruit.
The dark.
the dark fruit.
Come over to the dark fruit. What is the dark fruit? It's not banana.
It's definitely not banana. It's not citrus either. So it's dark fruit. It's winter fruit.
Okay, the winter fruit.
The winter dark fruits. It's
like the fruit trees that grow in wintertime,
Yeah. No, I mean
persimmon. That's actually those do get ripe in after the first frost. I don't know what else is as a winter fruit. Though.
Oh, and before we drank these, we both had a
celebration. Oh yeah, IPA. We're just going nuts with the Christmas beers today.
Yes, we are. Well, good luck getting them the rest of the season.
That's what we're doing. We're just having a good time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. That's what we're doing.
The spirits up. So
spirits in my cup.
Exactly. All right, folks. This episode we are doing our holiday gift giving guide. I'm actually surprised we've never done one of these before.
Right? I know we're gonna blow up some products like.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're gonna go. Wow, we didn't expect to sell that many of that thing.
We didn't expect to sell 2 more than we did before. Thank you, viewer. Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening. So let's before we go into, because I have a ton of visual aids, ton of slides, but let's just do our little monologue like we normally do. What can you like Christmas shopping and gift giving?
Don't talk to me about Christmas. If I don't get them cha-cha heels, my parents are gonna be sorry. That's all I gotta say.
Jesus Christ. I have no words. No words for that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Chris, I don't know what to say about it. I'll say that I do know what to say about it. Yes. This is my general gift giving thing. I think the best gifts are things that you wouldn't necessarily like. They're things you want, but they're not. But things you don't need.
Sure.
So they're like you've coveted this thing, but it's not high on your list of priorities of things to spend your money on because you've like, your practical brain has said, I can live without it. So to me, that's the best gift for me, is something that I would like, but it's not something that I would run out and purchase myself,
Right.
And then later on, I'm going to show you some gifts that are contradictory to what I just said.
Well, you're nothing if not a.
I know. Yeah, I love to contradict myself. Yeah, I'm a walking paradox. Is what.
It's fair.
But yes, in general, that's what I like to think. That being said, oh my God, so I like to do that in my gift. I say that's the kind of gifts I like to receive, and it's like kinds of gifts I like to buy for people also. However, my wife has basically informed me, no, don't do that. Buy me the gift I asked for, and don't go off script.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm of both minds. I really love to get gifts that people put a lot of thought and effort into.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had an experience with people that we used to give gifts for, who will remain nameless, who the gift giving, like for me, gift giving is, I like you a lot, or even love you in the case of many people, and I did this thing for you because I think you will like this, right? Like I genuinely believe that. But for these people who will remain nameless, gift giving was a sport. Gift getting was a sport. So they only gave gifts because there was an expectation that to get gifts, you had to give gifts. And sometimes
they were trying to win. They wanted to be one up. They would give you a gift and hope to get something better.
Well, they wouldn't even get, like, honest to God, sometimes the gifts would just get ripped open and thrown to the side. And I'm like, we are adults. Like, we're not children. Why are you doing it this way? So
it's not it's not like you're an 8-year-old opening socks.
Right.
And I said 8-year-old because at my age, I get the socks. I'm like, shit, yes, some fucking socks.
Exactly. I love socks.
I will wear the shit out of these.
In fact, Matt has a standing, because most of the gifts we buy, it's just me and Matt. So we buy gifts for each other, maybe a handful of friends.
Yeah.
But I've told him socks in my stocking in perpetuity for the rest of my goddamn life.
Yeah.
That's all I want in my stocking. But for a long time with that group of people, the sport people, I would give a very specific list, because otherwise, like, I knew that they felt the need to buy something for me because they wanted to get something in return, but they weren't creative people.
Oh God! And the worst thing you can ever do, let me throw this in there. The worst thing you can ever do to people who don't know you well is to let on that you collect a thing.
Oh my God!
Have you ever made that mistake?
Yes, I have.
I mean, and some of your friends probably do this, and I'm one of them.
It's true.
But I feel like you like the things that you get in this regard. Like you like getting Sphinx or Devon Rex related items. But I'm saying, like, it can become a thing where people get lazy. My family gets me things with the Batman logo on them.
Right. No matter what it is, you're like,
and I'm like, but I didn't need, like, if it's a coffee mug, I'm like, fuck, whatever. I could always use a coffee mug, right? Because somebody's going to break one in the course of the next year or two.
Right.
But if it's something like a wallet with a Batman logo on, I'm like, fuck, I already got a wallet. Like,
right. And also wallets fall into the category, I think, of very personal things.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not the wallet you use or like,
yeah,
you're not going to use it.
But they were in that section of the store called Gifts for Him.
Yeah.
The ubiquitous him.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the character for the Powerpuff Girls.
We are no,
because it would be funny.
He would not like that.
He would not like any of these things because they're always like brass or wood things. It's like, here's some manly shit.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, here's a multi-tool that actually is not good at any of the tools it's trying to be. Like, it won't cut your fingernails, and it also won't unscrew, I don't know, like it'll break the first time you try to unscrew a Phillips head screw.
Right.
Or it's a shitty tool that looks like it can do everything, and it's basically an afterthought. It's like, I don't know shit about you, so have this thing.
Right. I just bought it off this
ubiquitous gifts for him section.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it'd be things like, cufflinks or ties or wallets.
Oh God, I would love a good pair of cufflinks. Honest to God,
well, good
pair. But they'd have to speak to me.
Right.
They couldn't just be generic. You got me a pair of cufflinks, and they were Chaos Stars or Baphomets or something. I'd be like, fuck yeah, these are. I'll wear these every day.
Exactly.
But my mom's not going to buy me a Baphomet cufflink.
No. From what I know about your mother, I've never met your mother, but from what I know about her,
she wouldn't buy that.
Not one bit.
No, but she will buy me a Batman cufflinks, and then I'll be like, I'm not wearing these. These are dumb as shit.
All right. And now we do have some other philosophies on gift buying, and you actually sent me one, and we'll get to it after the station break, but one that we both, I think, very much agree on. So we'll get to that after a station break.
Okay.
But tis the season.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
So cufflinks with the Batman logo. Exactly.
I own them. I've never worn them. They're just low on my list of cufflinks to wear.
But what I like to promote every single year, people, this is one of my favorite traditions of the holiday season, the John Solomon 25-hour holiday radio show. This dude who has been doing this show for a bajillion years for a college radio station at Princeton. It's WPRB. You can listen online. His website is Keeping Score at Home. You can listen there. But I'm telling you, folks, it's the weirdest shit you will ever hear in your life. And it is so much fun.
Can you put in requests?
You can.
You do it now, probably weeks.
No, you could do it during the show too. He may or may not play them, but yeah.
I'm just curious. There's a goofy Christmas song that was played one time on Dr. Demento back in the late 80s that I've been dying to hear again in my lifetime.
Well, he would. Yes,
he may or may not be able to find.
You can email him now, or you can message him during the show. But
he might have to contact Dr. Demento. But he might know Dr. Demento for all I know.
Yeah, I don't know. But it is one of my favorite things in the world.
Anyway, I'm saying this. If you ever get a chance to hear it, Whip Me Santa Claus by Mucus and the Phlegm is a very good Christmas song. And I heard it once on Dr. Demento back in the late 80s and have been dying to hear it again. And I should have my fucking boombox ready to hit.
You really should
record.
But you really should have absolutely done it. But you would keep, for sure. So John Solomon's Holiday Radio Show it's literally 25 hours. It starts Christmas Eve. It ends Christmas Day. We have a tradition we call midnight baking. We stay up really late and bake something.
Then you said there's a thing in the middle of the night. There's a story.
Yes, there's a story that they play at midnight. And because the reason we started doing this is because Matt's mom would go to midnight mass, and we would stay up until she got, and we would bake while she was gone. And we would listen to this thing, and the midnight story would come on. And for the first year, I was like, "This is the stupidest story I've ever heard." And now, 10 years in, I'm like, "It's my favorite story." and also at 12:34 in the morning, they do an all Ramones set.
Okay.
Where 12:34, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I get it.
So it's an all Ramones. It's Ramones songs and Ramones inspired holiday parodies. Right?
Okay,
so
gotcha.
And those things I always have to hear every year, but then you listen to the rest of it, it's just weird.
Okay.
It's just weird stuff. So I will always recommend it.
I dig it. Yeah.
I love it. All right. So, okay, we got a shit ton of things to
we
share.
really did.
Well, first of all, if you really want to, you can. We did this last year. This is a bit we did last year.
Was this a bit?
Yeah.
This is when it started?
This is when it started.
Okay.
So you sent me a thing that said we should sell our own NFTs. So we made a Christmas NFT thing from all of our old episodes. NFTs, but what that evolved into was
totally fungible tokens.
What you can actually buy. So you want to give a unique Christmas gift to your friends and family this year. Buy our totally fungible tokens. BillHasOpinions.threadless.com. You can buy these signs. So there's also T-shirts.
Yeah, but wouldn't your bathroom really be spruced up with a "Stay Shitty" poster?
It would be.
I mean, come on.
It would.
Who doesn't need one of these?
All of the options. Stay Shitty, My Lord. Stay Shitty, My Lady. or Stay Shitty, My Good Noble, for non-binary.
I need to get you to design one more because I've got in my house, I've got a nautical themed bathroom. I need to have a Stay Shitty Matey or something.
Oh yeah, but with like a kraken wearing a hat,
maybe, yeah, something like that.
All right.
Or a dead pirate or some shit. You can just put a pirate hat on the
pirate hat on the first one. Yeah,
and you can say "Stay Shitty Matey."
Oh yeah,
or something like that. You know,
absolutely, absolutely, big fan. So yes, definitely check those out. But let's talk about this. The one of the things you mentioned to me, and I'm a firm believer in this. Experiences, not things.
Yeah. Which is the thing we started doing the last couple of years at my house because, well, partially because things have gotten so cheap in a way. Like,
sure.
I mean, like the thing, okay, there are things people need for sure, but the things people need that there's things people need that you can't afford, and there's things people need that you can afford. And of the things you can't afford, if they really need them, they probably purchase them themselves already because they're so cheap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like electronics or whatever the fuck, whatever the current fad thing is, they probably, if they really wanted it and or needed it, they've purchased it already. So it's become hard to buy for people in that regard. And we decided a couple years ago to our kids were at the age where we're like, well, shit, they got everything they really need. Like why am I going to give them some cheap bullshit that like they may or may not use and they'll throw in a pile and take to Goodwill or whatever? Like, fuck it. Like I'll get them an experience, you know, and experiences include things like a concert ticket for a concert that they might have thought was out of their range because it was $98 ticket or something.
Right.
But it's their favorite artist and they were like, oh, I'm going to skip it. But now they can go because you purchased it for them. Or maybe it's something like lessons for something that they've been thinking about doing. Like I've always wanted to learn to ski, but but I don't, I didn't have the wherewithal, or
like a friend of ours bought her husband the Masterclass series. Like I don't remember what the Masterclass.
Yeah, but you can buy those for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. There are tons of Masterclasses. Right. I've done some writing Masterclasses, which are from authors that I truly admire. Yeah, they're really cool.
Oh, they've got them. Yeah, they've got them from like famous actors and famous directors and shit like that.
You mentioned trips.
Yeah.
We do trips a lot as
a gift. It's a good. Yeah, it's a thing. Sometimes we'll just in this regard, like with our children, we just use like an IOU. We're like, hey, later this year, set aside these dates on the calendar. We're gonna go on a cruise to Caribbean or something, or we're gonna take you to this thing or what, go on a road trip to this place or whatever.
And it keeps it exciting because like a couple years ago, in fact, the reason I remember this is Matt had bought me a trip to go see Hadestown on Broadway in New York City.
Yeah.
In 21. And we went. And it was amazing. It was incredible. It wasn't for Christmas, it was for something else, but it was amazing. But while we were there, Hamilton was going for sale in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get him tickets for that Christmas, which this was like the beginning of December that we took that trip. But we're in a tiny hotel room by ourselves, and I'm trying to order these tickets without him seeing.
Sneaky about it.
Yeah, like it's hard to do when you're in a hotel room. But yeah,
I really go to the bathroom. And
I did. I did. Because I was sitting at the desk because I actually had to work on I'm a freelancer.
Made sure you ordered Indian food that night or something.
Well, I was working at the desk in the hotel room because sometimes I have to work when I travel because that's the life of a freelancer. But I swung the desk chair around and put my feet up on the bed and was like, oh, I'm uncomfortable sitting there, so because he was on the bed and he couldn't see, if otherwise he could see my computer.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you can't see my computer. I'm working real hard, but instead of buying Hamilton ticket. And then it's a gift that keeps on giving, right? So I gave it to him for Christmas that year, but the show wasn't until April.
Yeah.
So happy holidays, Heather. Hi. So it is like you get some reward out of it. It's not just here's your gift, it's disposable.
Right.
Like now it's an experience, it's an event, it's a thing you can look forward to.
I mean, like a year or two ago, I bought my son, he had gotten into New Order. It was one of the three bands he really liked. And they were coming to the States. They were playing like 6 shows because European bands, when they come to the States, they'll say they're doing a U.S. tour.
Yeah.
And they're playing like 6.
New York, Atlanta, L.A., Chicago.
This was D.C. Yeah.
Exactly.
I could go to D.C. or Florida, basically, with the 2 places that were in driving distance, So I bought the tickets to D.C. because I do have friends there and stuff. So, that in family, honestly.
Sure.
So that area works better for me. So yeah, we went up there last September to see, I think it got postponed a year because of COVID.
Right. Yeah. That was my Hadestown trip. That's why we went at the beginning of December.
We didn't go to last year, last September, I think it was, but, we drove to, DC and we saw New Order and the Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
But, that's the kind of thing like, he wouldn't have seen them because they were playing 6 dates in the States, and he would have been like, well, shit, that's,
because it involves a trip. It's not just
it was basically a road trip and a ticket. Yeah. So
exactly.
We had a good time. It was good. It's good bonding time too. So it was like, it's good for everybody.
Well, and then some experiences don't have to be even quite that involved, right?
Sure.
You mentioned gift cards, and so we've got
so
gift cards to your favorite restaurant. For example, your favorite restaurant could be the Purple Onion in Saluda.
Could be
as an option, or if you prefer tacos.
Yeah, the spot. Yeah, but absolutely, like some people, if you're a foodie, like I consider myself, and I know there's a whole debate about, is that really a thing? Like, that seems like a dumb hobby. Like, you like food, that's like saying I like to breathe. And
I've
had to explain to people, like, no, it's not like saying I like to breathe, because there's a difference between eating to fucking live and eating and like going, I like the way the flavors come together. I
having an experience.
Yes, and if you're not a foodie, you can't make a person a foodie. I don't think. Like, you either are or you aren't. Fine, whatever.
Right.
If you eat to live, that's you. Fine, whatever. Eat whatever shit makes you happy. I don't give a damn. But I'm saying, like, if you're the kind of person who doesn't think that $80 for a meal out is money wasted,
right?
And I'm that person, like, because I mean, I'm not going to say I've never said that. Depends on where I go. However, there are places where I can go and spend $150 on a meal out, and I'm like, every dime was worth it.
Yes.
Like, I enjoyed everything I tasted tonight.
Yes.
And it was like, my God, that was so good. So anyway, if you got a friend who's like that, that's a good thing to buy for them. Give them a gift card to a very expensive restaurant that they've been meaning to try.
Yeah, either a favorite restaurant or one they want to try or one you've heard really good things about.
Yeah.
Like, that's super fun. And another experience, not just food related.
Sure.
Here's an example. Like, you could buy a gift card for a service.
Yes.
We often promote Radiant Paws. So if you're in Southeast Michigan and you have a dog you want to pamper, like buying a gift card for your dog, your friend who loves their dogs like their children.
Yes.
A gift card for a pet massage is a great gift. Oh my God. If I had a dog, I would just die if someone gave me that. It would be amazing.
How about if somebody give you that for a cat? Is there a cat massage?
No, cats don't like
cats.
it. Cats are not down.
Cats will not cooperate with massage.
No.
Like,
no.
Who the fuck are you and why you're touching me?
Why are you doing it? All right. But we do have but there are things that we like to get.
Cat massage is done with, like, you put on welding gloves.
Yes, exactly. No, well, in a lot of pet practitioners also do Reiki, which is just like, energy.
Yeah.
Cats respond better to that.
Okay.
And if you imagine, like, even if you're the kind of person who thinks Reiki is bullshit, you've never had a cat.
Sure, yeah, no, I get you, yeah.
Cats are like, yesterday, oh my God, Toast is insane. She's an insane cat. Yesterday, I stubbed my toe like Saw stars stubbed my toe, and I screamed a guttural scream. And my fucking cat came to me and was like, doing the head bunting thing, like, and she wouldn't leave me alone until I let her know I was okay.
Like, I'm not dying. And she's
like,
all right, cool.
Clearly, she knows there's some sort of energy situation that she knew.
Yeah,
hat itches. Anyway, so. All right, but there are some things, and a lot of the rest of these things that we have to mention are things.
They're things.
And part of them are friends things. Like, we always like to promote local artists or artists that we know.
Sure, yeah.
Some of them are just random things we found on the internet. But let's go through these.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right. Well, you sent me this one pretty late.
Well, and I said this too. I said, well, after experiences the next.
Oh yes.
The next thing
arts.
I said was the arts, music, movies, actual
books, visual
arts.
Yes.
You know, so buy things from artists. This is a friend of mine from art school, Josiah Masachi. He's in a group called Child Seat. He's been in a lot of groups over the years, but this was, I think, probably my favorite project he's ever been involved in. It's kind of a it's a little shoegaze, a little bit 80s synth kind of sounding thing.
Sure.
But I like, so he's not the lead person on this, and I think he's still a creative force, but he's not the songwriter. Like the other person's the songwriter, and
Sure.
he's the musical person.
Sure.
And it's like the best partnership. Like to this day, like of all the projects he's been involved in, somehow or another, this one clicks for me.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
And I've liked a lot of things he's done. I like this one the best. I'm saying this is the one that grabs me, and I go, this is the shit, man. This is the one that's going to go somewhere. And Josiah's been in bands that like are tertiarily popular.
Sure.
Like, he was a big deal in like 95 in Chicago. Everybody thought he was about to break, and he didn't. But he's friends with Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
And he's actually opened, like his other band, Light FM, opened for Smashing Pumpkins like 2 or 3 years, well, pre-COVID.
Right.
But actually there's one Child Seat song that the one of the guitarists, not Corgan or James Iha, but the other guy who's come on to the Pumpkins in the last few years, I can't remember the guy's name now, it plays lead guitar on one of the tracks.
Right.
And Josiah is also a producer. He does a lot of production in LA, and he actually co-produced some Smashing Pumpkins stuff. So
nice. Yeah. But in particular, you sent me their Bandcamp, and this is the to the album. Hello, something weird happened on my computer. Anyway, if you go to the Bandcamp, you can also buy merch.
Yeah. They got all the stuff. They got albums. They got T-shirts, whatever. I keep hoping. The only place he's played, unfortunately, they mostly play in the LA area, aside from South by Southwest this past year.
Sure.
I'm hoping that they do take off enough. Like I don't know if he's ever gonna like break big, but I hope he breaks enough to do a national tour.
Right.
And comes within, at least comes to Atlanta or some shit. So I'll drive over. I would drive to Atlanta to see Josiah.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, check out Child Seat. If you don't buy the album, go check them out on Spotify and see what you think of them.
Sure.
I bet you'll dig them. Because they'll scratch your itch. I mean, he's the same age as me,
Sure.
He knows what us Gen Xers like.
All right, so you also sent a couple of T-shirts.
I did. I thought these were funny.
They are funny, and they are. I think it was T Fury or whatever.
Yeah, I just thought these were funny.
Yeah, Satan loves you for who you are. Nice.
That's the truth, man. You don't have to be somebody different for Satan.
You do not. And then you said this one.
I sent you that one because I thought that you would like it.
I do. I actually do. Actually, this is open letter. I'm pretty sure anybody who buys me gifts has already gotten me something. But open letter to people who are interested in getting me gifts. Anything mid-century modern and Art Deco are like my thing now.
But this is mid-century modern and cat.
Yeah, so
it's a Venn diagram of two things she's interested in.
It really is. It really is. I wanted to mention this one.
Okay.
If you're looking for like a gift for someone you don't know what to buy for, buy them a jar of fucks.
Okay.
You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them all kinds of places, but it's literally a jar of fucks. It's when you get down to your last fuck to give,
oh man,
shit's gone bad.
Yeah, that's
shit's
true.
Gone wrong. But I found it very humorous, so
that's great.
I would enjoy.
And hey, I will also throw this out there, and I don't know if you have a slide ready, but while we're talking about T-shirts. You could also buy T-shirts from somebody else that we know.
Oh, you can. And I don't have a direct slide for the T-shirts. I've got a slide for so geekorthodox.com.
Anything from Geek Orthodox. You can buy the window clings, you can buy the T-shirts. The only reason I sent you these other T-shirts because I already own all the Geek Orthodox T-shirts that I want right now. Until he makes new designs.
Right.
So,
and he usually does a couple a year.
Yeah.
And usually I'll buy one of those every year.
Yeah. They're not always for me because I'm not a Whovian or whatever. If he makes a Doctor Who shirt, I'm like, well, that's cute, but I don't really like Doctor Who, so I'm not going to buy it.
Right.
But,
no, he's been doing a lot of really cool stuff with like classic stories lately.
Yeah.
Like I bought a Peter Peter Pan shirt this year.
Oh wow!
And I really liked it. And he's got a Alice in Wonderland shirt that he did this year. So it's really cool to see that like traditional stories versus like a
pop culture things.
Specific pop culture
fandom. The last one I bought from him was the he had a in his rock band series, because he does a series of, they're like rock bands, but they're based on a pop culture thing.
Right.
And the one I bought was it looked like a punk show, but it was ROUS, the Rodents of Unusual Size.
Yeah, absolutely.
Playing in the fire swamp or something like that. You know,
yeah, it's good fun. So yeah, go check it out. The Peter Pan, the one that I have, it's actually Peter Pan and the Lost Boys, and it is a concert shirt, but it's based on the story instead. Then you also sent a couple of like you mentioned, obviously arts, movies, things like that.
Okay, so this is the thing. A friend of mine from college, Chris Bickle, he's a film producer down in South Carolina, producer, director, writer, auteur. He's making this horror movie, Paternoster and the Mission of Light, which is a horror film about a hippie cult.
Oh, one of my favorite subjects. I'm actually watching a documentary on a hippie cult right now.
Okay.
So I'm in. I'm 100%
okay.
in.
So I think this is loosely based, you know, the cult over in Tennessee that runs the health food stores?
Yes. I am very familiar with that.
It's mildly based on that.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, some of my favorite. I'm not usually a horror fan, but I love me some cults.
Anyway, he's got this is a pre-order. I pre-ordered the DVD through this. The film will be ready in, he said early March, maybe.
Sure.
He's got it in the can essentially. He's got one scene he wants to shoot, and it's a scene with like a where he's gonna have like an Art Bell type radio host.
Oh yeah.
But he wants to have an actual star, like somebody like Crispin Glover or Charles C. Riley or something like.
So he's
you know, like so he's trying to get enough money to pay a person of that stature
just to do that,
just to do this one scene.
Absolutely.
I will tell you this: the soundtrack. Before he made the movie, he recorded the soundtrack, which is like a trippy psychedelic folk album.
Nice.
One of the people who appears on the soundtrack is Sexy Sax Man from the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah.
Who he's friends with because he met him at a horror convention like 8 or 9 years ago, and they hit it off, you know.
Right.
Anyway, so this is going to be a really cool. I feel like this is going to be a great project. He's made some good films. He's already made 2 films. He's made one called Bad Girls, which I pitched on here before.
Yeah, we have pitched.
And he made one prior to that called The Theta Girl, which was like about this girl who I guess there was like she was on some kind of crazy drug that made you like see God or something.
Right.
Anyways, he's had those 2 things, and he's done well enough. Like he's won a couple of like local film awards and at a couple of festivals, like horror related festivals. But he's made enough money off both of those to continue making. Like he's not rich, but he makes enough to make another movie,
right?
Which is all he really wants.
That's all you want to do. Absolutely.
Just if you can fund your next project, like that's a win as an indie film producer. Now, while we're on indie films,
so we have limited time to cover the rest of this.
Oh my God.
Let's keep going. The Head. We've referenced Mitch Keane, our friend Michael Keane, many times on the show, but he did finish filming another indie horror movie called The Head.
I've actually watched this already.
Oh my God.
Did you watch it?
No, I have not.
I don't know if it'd be your thing.
Is it really gory? Like,
it's not that gory. It's graphic, but not in that way. It's really, I don't know. It's fucking weird.
But go buy it.
Yeah,
buy it for your friends.
Yeah, buy it for your friends. If you just want like a good head, like a mind fuck kind of movie, it's good for that. It's a good mind fuck. It's a very low budget, but in a good way. I liked it better than the previous movie.
Well, yeah, I know you have issues. I like the previous movie for the campiness of it.
This one was still campy, but it was campy in a different way. And I guess because like his previous movie was an homage to Neil Breen,
right?
Who I'm not a fan of, and I didn't get the homage part. So this one works better for me.
Right. Right.
And it was engaging all the way through, and I dug it, you know. But I will say it's very, it's very niche, but you got to be like, if you're into weird shit and you're into horror, this will accomplish. Like if you like John Waters movies, but you also like horror movies,
sure,
maybe this will be your thing.
Horror.
Okay, sure. Yeah, weird. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of weird, you sent me this, and I don't even know what to make of it.
Oh God, I didn't actually send. This wasn't related to this.
I did it. You're gonna. We gotta see it.
I sent it though because it popped up in my Facebook. You get the little Facebook like targeted ad things. And is this from AliExpress or something?
It is. Yeah. Also, folks, don't buy from AliExpress. No. Steal your data.
But it was like, what the fuck? I saw it and I was like, well, this is just kooky paint. Like, whatever.
I feel like that it's $132 for enlarging your breast intelligent
music
Bluetooth.
It's probably just it's a bra with vibrators in it, probably.
Yeah, but it has Bluetooth for some reason.
Yeah, well, there's Bluetooth vibrators.
Hey, it might be a gift. Yeah, that's true. It might be a gift for somebody.
If you like having your like boobs tingled on by things like pulsing to music, then that'd be for you.
All right. So that's fair. All right, so among my favorite category of gifts, like experiences and the arts, I like consumables. So like if and Matt gave me this idea. I bought it for him a few years ago. Like, he loves peanut butter. Yeah. So buy your loved one a favorite food. It's consumable. It won't last forever. Buy liquor, buy beer.
Yeah, that was actually on my short list too. Liquor or beer would be things.
Assuming that person drinks those.
Well, clearly, you don't want to buy it for like your Mormon friend. Is not going to enjoy that. They're going to be like, well, that's just inconsiderate,
weird, yeah.
Or your friend who's gotten sober because of their liver problems or whatever,
right?
Or their alcohol issue, whatever.
I still haven't finished my last band. I'll get to this eventually, but I also want to reach these things.
But
so as a side thing for consumables, right? If you're gonna buy drinks, it's nice to have glasses.
It is. Glassware is nice. Actually, I've told my kids like, you can always buy me pint glasses because they spend all year breaking my pint glasses.
Exactly.
And by the end of the year, I need more pint glasses.
Exactly. So here's a fun gift for you and the person you're giving gifts to.
Okay.
So Miracle is a pop-up. Miracle and Sip and Santa are pop-ups that happen all over the world.
Right.
There's one in almost every city that you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the place and you get your drinks, but then you buy one of these mugs for them.
Okay.
And I want to, this is this year's mug. I mean, isn't that, I would die if someone gave this to me. Don't give this to me because I
already bought it.
But I would die. I think it would be incredible. That's a great ass.
She wouldn't hate if she got a second one. Probably.
I would not.
She wouldn't be like, I already have this.
And yeah, exactly. No, I would love a second one. Don't go buy me one. But another one I wanted to share is last year for Christmas, I bought Matt these Star Wars Art Deco collection. They're like old-fashioned glasses, right? So I brought one out. This is R2-D2, and you won't. You can't
really see it.
Yeah, I wish you could. It has like this really. It also has water spots, but it's a really neat Art Deco R2 pattern. And they're really, really, really cool. So like if you have a friend who likes to drink and loves Star Wars, it's a great gift.
Likes to drink and watch Star Wars.
Yes. And then you sent these, which I think are great.
Yeah.
I don't have an example of them, but the holiday mugs from this is Calamity Ware. That got cut off from the top.
And they're like they're like Wedgwood or some old school like Dutch china, but they have if you look closely, they got like all these monsters and shit like tearing the place down or something. They have different designs. Everybody got ones like Godzilla stomping on the city.
And they have a Sasquatch one.
Sure, yeah.
But they're super like real china, like
they look real
China,
old school China, except for if you look real close, you're like, oh shit, look at that. It's kind of like the scene in the Birdcage where the conservative folks who are over realize that their fancy china like has like sexual positions,
right? Exactly.
It's kind of like that. It's like some subversive sort of regular old school china.
Exactly.
It's just hidden in there.
Exactly. All right, I've got two things that I don't have slides for, but that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
For your friends and family. So one of my hobbies at home is like amateur bartending.
Uh-huh.
And one of the best things I've ever gotten was this here graduated jigger.
Yeah.
It is literally the best. Like each of these little, they're all half ounce, full ounce, 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce. It's just so much easier than those, like the other shape.
Yeah.
Like it's easier to use. It's easier to pour. It's easier to measure. Like now I don't even look at the side anymore. I know what line inside.
After you use it a while, you got it. Yeah.
And I love this thing. I use this all the time.
Okay.
And then I know you have one to share, but one thing I wanted to mention is personalized gifts.
Yes.
Make great gifts. A couple of years ago, my sister sent me this. That's us, apparently. I'm the one with
right
now I do not have bright orange hair, but sometimes I do. That's us. Yeah, it made me less fat than I am. So thank you. And we're holding beers. I think that's adorable. Like we both have beers. And it says, being my sister is the only gift you need, which is true. I use this all year long, but I only exclusively use this when I'm drinking tea in the winter time.
Okay.
Like from now until the end of the year.
Yeah.
This is my go-to mug, where I have another mug that I use most of the time unless it's dirty.
Yes.
So, but this one is my go-to mug. And it's still one of my favorite things. And I know it's one of those cheap, I bought a it's a personalized website.
Sure.
You go in and you pick your avatar and you pick the names and you pick the hair color.
You still had to pick it.
Yeah. And it's just cute and fun. And those are cute and fun.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
All right. Now you brought something.
Gosh. Yeah. Okay. So.
All right, be careful. Don't flail this one around a lot.
All right.
We got a lot of breakable things up there.
This is what we call an oscillating saw. And this one happens to be a 20-volt Porter cable oscillating saw. And it's only because we happen to own the entire series of 20-volt Porter cable. By the way, I don't recommend, if you're going to buy a set of 20-volt rechargeable tools, I don't recommend the Porter cable. I've had some bad luck with a few of them. But it is what I already own. So
we're a Ryobi family.
That's fair. Yeah. I would actually probably recommend the Ryobi over this. But what I'm saying, an oscillating saw. This is the only saw that my wife will actually use without asking me to cut a thing. She thinks because here's the thing about it. Okay. It doesn't move a whole lot. It would be very hard to cut yourself with this saw.
Sure.
But it will cut wood and or metal. It'll actually cut through nails with the right blade on it. Like it'll cut through wood with a nail in it. Like
sure.
But she loves this tool. We had a little short discussion before the show about whether or not useful items were a good gift.
Well, yeah.
If not specifically asked for, I would say for men, they probably won't get mad about receiving a tool for a gift. Women, if they're the kind of woman who likes to get a tool for a gift, get it for them. And if they don't, then I think twice.
Yeah, no, I think there's almost a generational delineation. Because I mentioned before the show, like my father my mother's 82. So we're talking like the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Right.
My father would fall into the trap where he would buy my mother like a vacuum cleaner. And all that did was reinforce the fact that her only job was to clean the house, yeah. Right? Whereas if and like I did, Matt once asked for like the best, dust buster ever. And I'm like, well, he asked for it. Of course you buy it. Like there are certain household things
I'll say that if you've been asked to procure a household item for a gift, then you can do it. Mm-hmm. But don't do it as I'm surprising you with a...
Yeah, like don't give your wife a mop bucket and a mop.
Like, hey, baby, it's the best mop they make. Thought you'd like it.
But my dad fell into the trap, the rest of his little soul. Yeah, he fell into the trap a lot. He fell into that trap. He would either buy a household item that my mother specifically did not want, or buy her a piece of jewelry that was identical to the one that he got her the previous year.
Oh, wow.
So, and he was just a clueless dude. Like, He didn't know, but he liked heart-shaped things. So, when he would go to the store, he'd be like, I like that heart-shaped thing. And then my mother had a collection of, 30 heart-shaped things. And at some point, that becomes annoying.
Well, this was probably...
way before the boobs and a butt.
Yeah, the boobs in a butt.
Yeah, that was what Jane Seymour designed.
Yes,
it was supposed to be an infinity heart.
Yes, but it was boobs in a butt.
It looked like boobs in a butt. Absolutely. I think every person if you're not Jane Seymour or the handful of people that bought them, because it literally is like a heart shape on top, and then it goes down, and then a heart shape on bottom, and it's an infinity symbol, right?
It's kind of the classy version of the Browning deer on the back of your truck. You know,
right,
you know about the male and female deer looking at each other.
Yeah, absolutely. But it just ends up. It literally ended up looking like boobs in a butt. Yeah, like there was no. You go this way, and then you go this way, and you're like, that's boobs in a butt.
Boobs in a butt.
And so, but also the person, whoever it is, had to be standing in if it is a very awkward angle. Yeah, somebody's like Jessica Rabbit looking behind themselves for sure. Yeah,
she's got a huge boobs and a huge ass, and she's turned
like an owl. She's rotated the top of her body.
She's got the waist of an action figure.
Exactly.
Where she's just a rubber band holding her.
All right. Before we close the show, you sent me something earlier today and said, "Here is my favorite gift ever." And I actually
it's the thing I've used the most. You don't even know what this is.
No, did you see what it's called?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was funny because I saw it about 10 minutes ago, and I was like, "That's funny." Okay,
I literally called this graphic whatever the fuck this is because you sent it to me. It is
a cast iron griddle that is on my gas stovetop. Okay, now this one's specifically for my gas stovetop. So if you don't have a gas stovetop,
right,
this probably wouldn't work for you.
No, it would not. And
I'm not sure a cast iron griddle would work on an electric stovetop at all, unless if you have a flat top that does the thing where it allows the entire side to warm up. Because some of them have that, like where you can turn like you know what I mean? Like where you, instead of making like individual eyes, you can actually make like a section. Like
most.
My mom, I think hers does that at one point. Anyway, here's the thing with me. I like short order food. Okay, like especially breakfast foods, sausages, hash browns, eggs, and French toast and grilled cheese and shit like that. Like this thing has been a godsend. Like I got this last Christmas. So the stove came with one, but the one it came with was actually aluminum with like a coating. And that one like quickly wore the fuck out. And then last year, Emily got me the cast iron version, which was the same thing except cast iron, which means now I don't have to fuck with the damn coating. You know what I mean? Like it's actually good forever.
Right.
Because the coating is basically whatever grease you left on it.
Right. But it's seasoned.
And it gets more seasoned the more you cook on it.
Right.
I love the shit out of this thing. I cook on it every day. Like this is the gift of all the things I've ever gotten that I probably used every day for the last year is what I'm saying. You know, like every morning I get up and I go turn that thing on and I throw some shit on it and roll it around. I'm like, hey. Because honest to God, if they would pay me what I make now, I would work at Waffle House. If I could get paid what I'm making as a data analyst to work at Waffle House, I would do it in a heartbeat. It's actually it's soothing kind of thing to me, cooking short order food. However, I don't think they pay that well.
Right.
So I probably won't do that until I retire.
Yeah, I was going to say retirement career where you like open a B&B or something.
Yeah, and I might have a little diner that's open just for breakfast.
Open a little hotel with a diner that's open just for breakfast, like a roadside motel.
Absolutely.
With just a breakfast
I would love
diner.
that. And by the way, the hotel is haunted.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because that's my gimmick. And also there's a red room at one end that you can pay a little extra for that.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is totally off topic, but in 2 days we're going to Dollywood. We've never been to Dollywood.
Oh, goddamn.
We've never ever been,
That's
but
awesome.
also it's the holiday situation. We're going for a couple days because
they call it the hard candy Christmas.
They do. No, I don't know, but
they should.
That's one of my all-time favorite Christmas
songs. It's a good song.
But we're staying. The reason I brought it up is we're staying. There's in Gatlinburg is a hotel. It's a retro motor lodge called the Wayback.
Okay.
And that's where we're just staying for one night, but we're staying at the Wayback.
Okay.
And I will report back to you because it's like a not luxury, but it's like a modern interpretation of a roadside.
Well, kind of like the
one in Kinston.
Yeah, stayed at, yeah. And we've stayed at one in Brevard that's like that too. That was like a old school, but they did like kind of a reno thing.
Yeah, so it's totally modern.
Yeah,
and apparently has a modern bar.
And I'm all about that kind of shit now. Like those are my kinds of roadside. And I stayed at one in Athens like that too, called The Graduate.
Yeah,
which The Graduate is actually a chain that has these kinds of retro motor lodges in college towns.
Right,
which is why it's called The Graduate.
Right. So yes, we're doing that. Which, speaking of, experiences, taking your loved one to a roadside motel for that experience would be super fun.
Yeah, as long as it's not like the Psycho Motel.
Yeah, no.
If they're
it depends on your loved one.
If they're into that, if they're into being stabbed, if that's what they're into.
Look, I'm not into horror per se, but I do like. I would totally stay at a Psycho themed hotel. Like, not with immersion. Like, I don't want someone coming into my room,
busting in looking like an old lady, like
through the shower curtain. But yeah, no.
But if it was just a roadside motel with a creepy old house behind it,
just the
you'd
aesthetic.
Be like, okay,
I would be totally in.
Yeah,
totally. All right. So it is 8:00. We have to go have Bill Has Pizza.
Oh yeah,
as we do. So I hope you've enjoyed our gift giving guide. Buy some nice things for your friends and family.
Get them some experiences.
Do that, or some consumables. Yes, but why don't you take us away?
The Jelly of the Month Club. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
The Jelly of the Month Club. Nice. All right, why don't you take us away?
All right. Bill Has Opinions, engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie.
That's correct.
I had to stop for a second. Wait. Yeah. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with them. And we didn't really disagree tonight on anything.
I mean, it's just about things.
I mean, it's
about gifts. Who doesn't love gifts?
Right. You want some stuff, It's a win-win. Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. #Opinion Gang and/or Can't Miss Bullshit.
It's true.
That's our new catchphrase. If you're on,
well, we've been doing this for 139 episodes. It's about time we have a new catchphrase,
right? Yeah. So if you want to leave us questions, comments, concerns, ideas for future shows, we're all about it. And anyway, tune in next week. We'll be talking about.
Oh, it's our 4th annual Bill Has Opinions Christmas party.
All right. Oh, the holiday Christmas party.
The holiday party.
Oh my gosh.
Our office Christmas party.
That's right. That's good times. Oh my God. I'm gonna photograph my ass.
Bring a lampshade. It's gonna get weird up in here.
All right.
I got some things planned. So all right.
I said photograph, but I meant photocopy.
You did.
Photocopy my ass.
In the age of selfies.
I could just take the phone and be like, I'm not really going to do either of those things.
That's good to know. That's just good to know, as in general.
Yeah, but right. You know what I'm saying.
All right, we'll see you all in a week, folks. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.